Life is like a coin. You may use it any way you wish, but you can only use it one time. Tough times never last. Tough people do. One day when you die, people won't remember whether you were rich or whatever. It's your legacy that will remember. It is possible to grow. It is necessary to grow. But at the end of the day, it takes you to grow. I can do my part. You can do your part. Together, let's go out there and continue to make a difference, to grow. It is true that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Today we are privileged to have an author of the book, A Provoked Mind. She'll be here to inspire us, to challenge us, and to help us on how we must provoke this God-given thing called a mind, ingqondo, kelelo. Again, welcome to the program. Austoriso, we want to say thank you for your time today, and we're looking forward to an exciting discussion.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Molapo.
Before we delve into the book, who is Toriso?
Toriso, she is a mother of 3 beautiful girls. I'm a child of God. I'm an amazing person. I'm also a driven person, a passionate person. And I'm here to fulfill my purpose in life. Basically, that's Toriso.
And what is the meaning of Toriso? You know, people have got, Elizabeth, they've got all of the other names, Toriso. What is the meaning of Toriso?
It means praise. Praise. We're giving the Toriso, giving praises, yeah.
So when you showed up in this world, then prophetically they said, we praise God for this life.
Yes, and I believe that I have, my name is linked to who I am because of, I feel like wherever that I go, I give praise to God in whatever that I do. So I'm linking myself to the name that I'm having.
And then your educational background?
I studied at TUT, software development. I did also NLP coaching with School of Life, and forever learning new skills all the time.
And what drove you to do those kind of subjects?
I can say that, okay, before me doing an IT, it wasn't like the whole thing that I wanted to do. I remember when I was young, about 8 years, I was holding a mic to a multitude of people. For me, that was my dream. And then I thought, I'm going to sing, because back then, we didn't know anything about becoming a speaker whatsoever. So we thought in high school, you gotta sing. So I joined the choral music. Along the journey of life, I lost myself. I lost my dream, I lost my purpose. And it has led me now to do IT. So, but then as you journey throughout the life, you realize that this is really not me. What more can I do? What is it that I'm here for? And that's when now the provoking start to happen in my life.
But still don't discount journeys, because you know, in life, when you connect the dots,
yes,
somehow God orchestrates everything.
Of course, yes.
Because right now, because of the 4th Industrial Revolution, IT, information technology, is relevant. So it was not a wasted time. It was a learning time, increasing time. So then you started, going on through this journey, and then after your schooling, did you work for yourself? Did you work for an organization?
I worked for quite a couple of companies, IT companies, as an account manager, as service delivery manager, as a junior technician. So that's my journey in the IT space. But then I couldn't find fulfillment again. So I wanted something that has to do with what was inside. The inner voice keeps on talking. Toriso, you're supposed to be doing something similar to this. That's when now it led me to coaching. I wasn't really looking to do coaching, but I was looking for myself. So I attended the self-development master classes and the workshops. So through those platforms, I then found out that, so I can become a coach. So because it worked for me. And then I thought, if this thing worked for me, there are a lot of people out there that can benefit from coaching. And then I decided to get all the certification for becoming a coach.
But that time was preparation. Yes, it's coaching, but remember, life is a journey.
Correct. Yes.
And as I said in my opening statement, that you don't want to waste your mind, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. So during that time, you were busy packaging yourself, reading, listening. Now the idea of a book. People are watching, say, but how do you even have an idea to write a book? How did it come about?
A book, right? I'm a reader. I read a lot. And I realized that a lot of secrets in life are hidden in books. And you can hear a lot of people talking about certain things, but without you experiencing yourself, they mean nothing. So I had to get myself books that I will connect to, that will provoke a certain element in me to flourish or to become the person that I've always wanted to be. So I started reading books, and I realized that, wow, people are sharing their journeys. People are sharing their the tools as well, like a coach. You share tools and how to enhance people's life. So I thought, you know what, maybe what I know, I can put it in the book, because I feel like it's much of a value for other people to read the book, because it will add quite a lot of value in themselves as well.
I like what you said, because it is estimated that you need at least 10,000 to 100,000 words. You need to read them, particularly in your area of expertise. And then out of the journeys of people, you don't want to be like them, but you learn from them. Because remember, how you view things is how you do things.
Of course, yes.
So the mere fact that you view this thing, if these people can share their journeys, wait a minute, I can extrapolate and do things for myself. Now the topic, you now have this desire to write a book, because our program is leaders are readers and readers are leaders.
Yes.
How do you even just come up with the title, A Provoked Mind? Is it something that you dream about? Did you pray about? How did even that title come about?
I must say, I've been provoked myself first. I didn't even know that the book will be called The Provoked Mind. So I didn't intentionally say, I want the book called The Provoked Mind and find the content. The journey has guided me to say, this is a provoked mind. Because I feel like I used to be that type of a person, right, who was floating in life, who was never intentional of what they want. I actually make this example that I felt like my whole life I was in a bus, sitting in the back seat. And somebody was driving me and taking me wherever that they feel like going through the petrol station, the humps and the corners and whatsoever. But the truth is, I wasn't happy with the destination. I was forever a victim. I was forever a scapegoat. And then that's when I started to realize that there's something that is happening that I'm not sure what it is. And when I read books, when I went to self-development programs, whatever, it led to say that I am my own enemy, and my own enemy is in the mind. So that has started the journey of me being provoked. So I had to check what kind of thoughts was I thinking, what kind of words was I speaking, because in an instant say, everything starts with the mind. And when you understand, when you read the books, they say that we are creators. So we are creating by the thoughts. So I realized that, okay, I was my own enemy. So it means that a lot of people who are playing victims all the time, they are not in God of their mind. So how about we do something about this mind thing? What is it that I need to know about the mind so that I can excel in my life? So the title Provoked Mind came by me being provoked first, to question my life, to question my choices, to question where I was. And then through provoking, it leads to a lot of solutions.
May God help us that we must be sick and tired of our lives, because we can do better. We can be better.
Yes.
But unless we provoke ourselves, and I like what you said, because the greatest enemy is inner me.
Okay.
The
Yes.
greatest enemy
Yes.
is most of the time inner me. So if there's one or two things that you did to overcome that enemy inner you, what would you say?
Yeah.
What did you do to overcome that enemy that was inner you, to say, hey, I can do this thing?
I think first thing was to know God, first thing. That, okay, in me, even if you say that the enemy is in me, it's because of maybe I am not provoking the right spirit within me. And the right spirit is where now God dwells. So I had to go in a sacred place to actually understand who is God for me, and how can I have a relationship with God? What is the power that is in me? I realized that within me there is the inner power. And that's when I started to cultivate and provoke this inner power within me, so that I can be able to challenge myself and to conquer me, as I was the enemy to myself.
And how many pages is this book, A Provoked Mind?
It's about 128.
128.
Yes.
And where can people find it?
It's going to be available on Amazon. It's going to be on exclusive books, and also for self-selling myself, I'll be doing that.
Yeah, later on we'll find out. We'll give people your details if they want to get more of that. A Provoked Mind. Now, starting that book, was it easy to get started with chapter 1, or was it difficult?
Geez, when I was pregnant with my third child, the way things were so hectic, I said to myself that I need to write a book. Something in my spirit said that you need to write a book. But I never paid much attention. I even wrote it in my journal, because I journal a lot. That was like 2015. I said I'm going to write a book. But I didn't know what content, I didn't know what to cover, I knew nothing. But I knew that I want to write a book. So writing a first chapter, it was a bit challenging, I must say, because I didn't even know where to start. Is it about me? I didn't want to make it a biography. I wanted to make it something that everybody can relate wherever they are. So again, connecting to the inner power within me, I got the inspiration to say, okay, let's do it like this. And since I was connected within me, it was flowing. It was quite flowing.
Well, when we come back, we're going to find out more on how do you even just get started with chapter 1. Again, this is Toriso Mukwena, the author of A Provoked Mind. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Leaders Are Readers and Readers Are Leaders with our special guest and author, Toriso Mukwena. Before we left for the ad break, we spoke about having this idea of writing a book is good. But the greatest fear is just penning, starting just to start with chapter 1. She said to us she had to overcome that fear. And after chapter 1, things moved. What is chapter 1 all about on the Provoked Mind?
Thank you for the question. Chapter 1 is about provoking awareness. Because in order for one to conquer anything in life, they need to be aware of it. So if you know that you are your own enemy, you need to be in awareness of who you are. So chapter 1 is about awareness of how the universe works, and awareness of how you are the creator of your reality. So basically this chapter 1.
Because if the truth be told, Tori, so is that God is our creator, and he has given us the capacity and the skill sets to create.
Yes.
You know, sometimes people freak out to say, well, one day when we go to heaven, we'll be bored singing praise and worship song, harps, whatever. No, God wants us to create.
Yes.
So that awareness, shed deeply on what you meant by that awareness, because a lot of people sometimes don't provoke the mind because everything must have an awareness. What created that input for you to say, I must start with an awareness?
Awareness, because I had to be in awareness of me first, or what I want, or what is happening in my life. I started to ask myself quite a deep questions. Why do I think the way I think? Why do I do the things that I do? Why do I have the people that I have in my life? Why am I not living the life that I've always wanted to live? Why am I always a victim of situations? I honestly had to question or provoke a whole lot of things about me. And then until I realized that I need to be in awareness of how I think. Because thoughts have so much power as much as words. Because you realize that everything starts as a thought. It's like a seed. The more you nurture the seed, the more it becomes whatever that you want it to be. So I realized most of the time I was thinking thoughts that are limiting me. I was thinking thoughts that are not taking me forward, but they were actually breaking me even further. So I had to be in awareness, first thing, thought. I had to be in awareness of my thoughts. So are you saying that if I can change my thoughts, I can change my life? Literally, that's what it's about. From being in awareness of thoughts, I had to be in awareness of how I speak. Because you have the mouth has the power to declare or to destroy or to build. So I had to be in awareness that, okay, before I can master any book or anything out there, let me first by mastering Toriso Mukwena. Who is Toriso Mukwena? And that's when now the whole awareness of I am literally creating my reality. Me being in that bus, the mind was taking control of me. So I had to be on the driving wheel. I had to drive the bus myself and channel it or drive it to where I want it to be.
The sad part in life is we have a lot of people, young and old, who still thinks that people owe them something. It's wrong thinking.
Yes.
The book of Proverbs is right. As a man thinks, so is he.
Definitely.
As a woman thinks, so is she.
Definitely.
So that thing is powerful of getting first of all with your thought. The Bible says we must have the mind of Christ.
Yes.
Because Christ was thinking big, thinking creatively or whatever. So then after the thinking and changing your life, then how do you provoke your mind? What was the next chapter or the next steps?
The next chapter of awareness is change. You are the master of change. I read the book of change. So, yes, after being in awareness of who you are or what you want, you got to be willing to change. But the choice has to come from you. You cannot force it on anybody. So knowing that, imagine saying that, my thoughts, I'm an enemy to myself. What do I do after that? Do I just sit? Or do I go and find out what is it that I need to do to change these thought patterns that I have? So the second chapter is about change. You got to be willing to change, because if you don't change, then you're going to remain stagnant. And if you are not really growing, then you are dying. So change is inevitable, right? But growth is a choice. So if you are really tired of your situation, what you need is really not to cope, but you need to change. So change, it's a gear to the future. We all need to change our lives. I make an example about the BlackBerry, yeah? Mm-hmm. Everybody had a BlackBerry. Everybody loved the BBM and the Mexit. But where is it now? Where is it now? We have the iPhones, we have the Huawei's and the Samsung. They are the in phones now. They are the modern phones. So you see, same thing as a person. If they don't change, or if they don't see the future, what is coming, they will be not relevant much as per much.
The problem is the mind does not want to change. The mind likes predictability.
I know.
The mind likes
comfort zone.
The comfort zone. So when you're provoking the mind to say it must change, how did you grapple with that? Because you've made the decision, you're thinking big, you're changing your life, but now to change, sometimes changing of the habits, you know. Like with me, I only eat sweet things only weekends.
Okay.
You know, because no sugar formed against me shall prosper, you know. But I must confess that during the week, that sweet thing calls me, when I'm in the mall, calls me. And that constant thing of changing, it's a battle. How do you then convince people, in your book, The Provoked Mind, on practical ways on changing? Because there will be resistance.
Yeah.
Resistance from your side, resistance in your situation, and resistance to some circumstances where you want to put through. How did you overcome that?
I will say, you know what, the first thing is to identify the awareness part again. What change do you want in your life? Is it sugar? Okay, what about sugar? What is it that I need to know about sugar? What is it good or is it bad for me? What can I change about the sugar? Obviously, each and every habit, it's not easy to just break it. You need practice. You need practice, especially if you already know what is it that you really want. You gotta be intentional of what you want to do. So without the intention, without you really being serious that this is what I want, then anything just passes you by. The thought as well will go back to the cyberspace of it, where it's comfortable to say, but Tories, we're not used to not drinking things without sugar. What is happening? So you now need to be in charge of your thoughts, and don't let the thoughts to run you, but you gotta run your thought to say, okay, mind, I am in control of you, I am in power of you. So in that way, with the daily practice to say, I'm in charge of my thoughts, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, when you do it daily, repetition is a master of everything. When you repeat that, then it forms a habit. And once that is done, you realize that this is me. Like now, you already know that weekend is me and sugar. But it didn't start like that. You had to be really intentional that, okay, I don't want sugar because of. There must be a reason why you want change. So if you don't have a reason, then anything is possible. You're going to the other side. When the wind is blowing to the side, you're going to the side. So knowing what is it that you want, that will actually provoke you to do what is necessary.
And the importance of people coaching and supporting you, because sometimes a lot of people fail to provoke their minds because they feel they're alone. So when they fall and they give up, what is the importance of having people to coach you, encourage you, mentor you during this process of change?
Sure, we need people. We need people like that. Actually, you need people who would be able to work with you on this journey, and you need people who are okay. I think first thing that I did was to who I admire to be. First thing, who admires to be. Let's say that I admire to be like Oprah. Yeah. So I had to study a little bit about Oprah. What is Oprah all about? What does she do? So even if I don't have literally a person who would work with me, studying that leader, studying that person, it actually it's a teachable thing for me. So yes, it is good to surround yourself with the good circle, a circle that will provoke you, circle that will challenge you, circle that will even support you where you feel like you can't go on any longer. So the surrounding, it plays a very, very much huge key. But if you don't have those people, don't be so bad to say that, oh, I have nobody. It means that this thing is not possible. So one can start looking at who they aspire to be, in whoever that they aspire to be. What can they learn? What qualities? What are their values that I can actually add to my life so that I can become that? Obviously, having people in your circle, then you become greater and you go far.
So change, and then the next aspect of the provoked mind, according to your book?
It is the inner power. Inner power is God. God, everybody calls God different. I've realized that. God is not in a box. God is not in, you can't limit God. He's universe himself. So people relate to God in a very different aspect. So in the book, I did not come as much as a Christian, but I came as everybody knowing that you have the power within you, irrespective of how you see God as. So the third chapter is about inner power, to say, once you realize that who you are and what you want, you need the support. And the support, sometimes, the biggest support is not out there, but is within you. And which is your inner power, and that is God. So once you team up with him who dwells in you, you become unstoppable. So the chapter provokes of who God is you to you. How can you get connected to God? What can you do so that you can be in the divine all the time? Because I believe once a person is working or operating from within or the divine, they are just unstoppable.
Well, we'll be back after these messages. This is Leaders and Readers Are Leaders, with our special guest, Mrs. Toriso Mukwena, sharing and encouraging us about a provoked mind. She mentioned the inner power. It is true that in the Bible it says, greater is he that is inside of you than he that is in this world. So before you wrap up, why don't you look to someone here, on that camera, and just encourage them, provoke them to do something about their lives.
Okay, you know what, ne? I feel like most of us, we hope, we pray, we wish, we fast, we keep on hoping that to receive things all the time. So I am challenging you to provoke yourself, to take a bit of an action to what you want to achieve in your life. So yes, you've been praying for that job, you've been praying for that marriage, you've been fasting, whatever, but you cannot just sit and do nothing. You have to stand up on your chair and go and chase the things that you want in your life. So be encouraged to be provoked, because when you are provoked, then you will find solution. It's not like motivation, where motivation expires, right? But a provoked mind will always find solution. So you are your own solution to your dreams and to your life. You just have to take action from now going forward.
Well, we're still going to continue on part 2. After the inner power, what's the last one? And then we'll continue on part 2.
It's talk about purpose. Because once you are in awareness of who you are, and you know the change that you want, and you know that you can achieve anything with this power, then you're going to know that you are living a purposeful life. You want to live a purposeful life because you have found out the source of purpose, of which is God. So after finding that, you got to live within your purpose. So the 4th chapter, we're provoking purpose in your life.
And if people want to get a hold of this book, where can they get it?
Well, I'm available on Facebook as well. We can do that as well. I am Toriso Mukwena. I also have a website, coachtoriso.com, and also will be available on Amazon on exclusive books and self-selling myself.
And also you are available to speak and to do some emceeing work also then?
Yes, I'm a speaker, I'm a life coach, and yes, I facilitate programs as well.
Wonderful. Last words before we go to part 2, what would you say?
You got to be provoked, guys. You got to be provoking. It is good for you, because of when you are provoked, you are able to see progress in your life. Stop hoping people will come and give dreams to you. You have to go there and make it happen for yourself. So be provoked.
Have a provoked mind. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from Toriso Mukwena teaching us about having a provoked mind. This is part 1. We're going to continue with part 2. But here's some parting shots. She said something important about purpose. Because you can provoke your mind, but if that provoked mind does not do anything, then it's wasted time and wasted effort. It is true that if you want your mind to be provoked, you need to understand that all of us are here for a reason. There's a reason for being, purpose. If you do not know how to use a pen, you'll misuse and abuse the pen. That's why we call it pen abuse. If you do not know the purpose of a man, then you call it man abuse, particularly in the context of Africa. If you do not know the purpose of a woman, then that's where we end up with gender-based violence of misusing and ill-treating a woman. So I'm inspired myself and encouraged that a provoked mind, yes, she mentioned that you can start with all this thinking, changing your thought life, having the inner power. But when all is said and done, it's about your purpose. Three things about your assignment and your purpose. Number one, your purpose is not for everyone, but it is for someone. So when your mind is provoked, does not mean that everyone is going to like you. Remember, when your mind is provoked, you will irritate other people. Some people will provoke you to go the negative way. But she taught us today, provoke yourself. Be intentional. When you wake up in the morning, you might not feel good, you might not feel provoked, but provoke. Tokoloza. And when you provoke yourself, you realize that, wait a minute. Number two, not only am I here to do something, not for everyone, but the second thing about purpose is this, that my purpose will grant me peace. Some of you do not have peace of mind because you do not provoke yourself. But when you provoke yourself, you are cool with you. You don't have to compare yourself to anybody else. Some of you are being challenged to write a book about what Toriso has written. So the third thing about your purpose is this, that your purpose will release your generosity. We need African writers. We need particularly women to write and share about their experiences. And I believe when you do so, you'll provoke yourself and also you provoke other people. So once again, visit that website and Facebook. And today, remember, I can, you can. Provoke your mind. Until next time, God bless. Life is like a coin. You may use it any way you wish, but you can only use it one time. Tough times never last. Tough people do. One day when you die, people won't remember whether you were rich or whatever. It's your legacy that will remember. It is possible to grow. It is necessary to grow, but at the end of the day, it takes you to grow. I can do my part, you can do your part. Together, let's go out there and continue to make a difference, to grow.